The reincarnated Empress ascended the mountain to cultivate, yet she chose the weakest sect, a place so desolate that even a stray dog would shun it. Observing this, the crowd let out collective sighs, lamenting that such a rare gem of talent was being squandered. Yet she remained unfazed. Having been an empress in her previous life, she had no need for the guidance of others. She knew that by cultivating on her own, she could surely return to the pinnacle of power. Thus, the weakest peak master became her first choice. Little did they know my cultivation had long since reached the great emperor realm, even as I presided over the disciple recruitment ceremony. During the talent assessment, Yaoling revealed the bloodline of the Ice Phoenix, and in the sparring matches, she relied on techniques from her past life to secure first place. This display made her the center of a tug-of-war among the gathered elders. I, however, remained indolent, appearing as if the entire affair had nothing to do with me. But at that very moment, Yaoling's gaze suddenly swept toward me. I wished to join Tangjian Peak. As the words left her lips, the entire assembly fell into stunned silence. The sect master Mo Wentian seemed visibly displeased. Have you given this proper thought? He has only just reached the Dongjing realm. What could he possibly teach you? Do not be blinded by Qintian's outward appearance. I smiled faintly, resigned, and spoke. If you are determined to take me as your master, you must abide by my rules. Are you willing to do so? Upon hearing this, Yaoling furrowed her brows. I, the dignified Empress of Ruthlessness, am taking you as my master, yet you are so demanding. However, for the sake of a superior cultivation environment, she ultimately restrained her temper. I am willing. With her cultivation rapidly advancing over the past few days, she was on the verge of breaking through to the Golden Body realm. Once I complete my breakthrough, let us see how you try to control me. With this thought, she immediately performed the rites of apprenticeship before me. Disciple in Yaoling pays respects to master. As the words fell, a voice suddenly echoed in my mind. Congratulations to the host for recruiting a disciple. This woman is the reincarnated Empress. Nurture her well to receive your rewards. Supreme Sword Technique, Heart Sword Decree, and the Peerless Grade Emperor Weapon, the Bingley Sword. My heart brimmed with joy. One must realize that the Supreme Sword Technique far exceeds the level of common Emperor tier manuals. Let us go, disciple. Follow me back to Tangent Peak. And Yaoling nodded and followed behind me. Before we departed, Mo Wentian offered a final pointed remark. Do not ruin the girl's future. Tangjian Peak has many abandoned palaces and is in a state of disrepair. I turned to look at my new disciple following close behind. Choose a room for yourself and settle in. Once you have finished, come and find me. And Miaoling nodded and departed, choosing a room at random only to find it in a state of utter squalor. And Miaoling grimaced in pure disgust. Never in my life did I imagine that I, an empress, would be forced to clean my own quarters. Half an hour later, a dust-covered Miaoling sought me out. Master, may I ask where the medicinal herb garden and the pill-refining pavilion are located? Seeing the grime smudged across her small face, I could not help but reach out to wipe it away. This gesture left Miaoling stunned. Once she processed what happened, she retreated several steps. She, a peerless empress with a decisive nature, had been taken advantage of so casually. Thinking of this, her fury soared to the heavens and a resolution formed within her heart. Once my cultivation is restored, I will immediately sever the hand that dared to touch me. I felt somewhat bewildered. Her face was dirty, so why was she so agitated by me wiping it clean? And Miaoling let out a cold snort and turned her face away. Observing this, I pondered for a moment before retrieving the Supreme Emperor-grade weapon, the Frost Glass Sword. Since you have taken me as your master, consider this sword a token of our apprenticeship. And Miaoling did not even glance at it, shaking her head in refusal. She could not imagine that someone in the spirit movement realm could possess anything of true value. There is no need for such formalities. If your master gives it to you, just accept it. As I spoke, I thrust the sword directly into her arms. And Miaoling intended to discard the blade, but she sensed something amiss. She probed it with her divine sense, and her breathing instantly grew rapid. This is a Supreme Emperor-grade weapon. In her past life, she had possessed an Emperor-grade weapon as well, but it was merely of the lowest grade. The very people who conspired to kill her years ago had done so primarily to seize her blade. Is this truly for me? Yes, though if you do not like it, never mind. Having said that, I made a move as if to take it back, and Miaoling hastily hugged the sword tightly to her chest. I like it. My actions had genuinely moved her. Even her ruthless Tao heart began to waver. In my past life, I wandered the world alone with my sword, severing all karmic ties. In this life, can I still remain as detached as before? Faced with the allure of such a supreme treasure, she found her confidence wavering. What was she thinking now? How do you possess an Emperor-grade weapon? I found it, I replied nonchalantly. You found it? Do you take me for a child? And Dealing seemed to hesitate as if wanting to speak but holding back. Suddenly she realized this possibility existed. Otherwise, how could one of the spirit movement realm possess an imperial-grade weapon based on strength alone? At this thought, Dealing's heart gradually calmed. He must not have known the true value of this sword, which is why he gifted it to me. Once she had reconciled these thoughts, she immediately began the process of blood-binding the sword to make it her own. The very next moment, the blade erupted with a seven-colored radiance, triggering a manifestation of heaven and earth. My expression shifted. I hurriedly swept my sleeve, and the anomaly vanished instantly, yet it was already too late. Mo Wentian, who had been in seclusion, immediately vanished from his chambers. Deep within the mountains, several demon sovereigns and a mysterious entity opened their eyes simultaneously. The sect master of the Eastern Province's demonic sect could not help but turn his gaze toward the Kunlun Sword sect, his interest piqued. Once I emerge from seclusion, I shall pay a visit to the Kunlun sword sect. Dealing was startled and hurriedly retracted the bound Bingley sword into her body. To her surprise, Mowantian arrived the very next second. Did you two see anything? I replied with a casual, indifferent tone. We saw a manifestation in the sky. Other than that, there was nothing. Mowantian remained somewhat skeptical, but seeing Dealing nodding repeatedly, he let out a sigh and chose to accept my word. This anomaly occurred within our Kunlun sect. I fear that Kunlun is about to face some trouble. You must both take care of yourselves. And Dealing realized she had caused a calamity. She looked at me with embarrassment, yet also with a hint of astonishment. She was amazed that I possessed the ability to disperse the heavenly phenomenon, but I merely smiled, thinking nothing of it. I am going to prepare a meal. The 9 peaks of Kunlun each house a demon-suppressing tower, within which various demonic beasts are imprisoned to allow disciples to hone their combat skills. Only the demon-suppressing tower of the Hidden Sword Peak is different. It is used to hold demonic beasts that are suitable for consumption. I stepped into the demon-suppressing tower, casting a glance at the 2 demon kings and the single 3-legged crow king inside. I pulled the 3-legged crow king out. Muttering to myself, it seemed I would have to set aside some time to stockpile more food. Before long, 1 soup and 1 vegetable dish were served upon the table. Dealing, currently practicing her swordsmanship, knit her brows slightly. I have reached the state of fasting, yet you insist I eat. Is this the rule of Tengjian Peak? Hearing this, Dealing helplessly sheathed her sword. I smiled faintly. Once you finish this meal, you should be able to break through to the first level of the Golden Body Realm. Dealing looked at the soup and vegetables on the table with skepticism, but as she took a sip of the broth, a massive surge of energy immediately flooded her body. She successfully broke through to the first level of the Golden Body Realm. What exactly did you feed me? Dealing asked in shock. I replied, nothing of note, just some stewed 3-legged golden crow king. You used a demon king for a stew? Dealing was instantly stunned. Did you catch this yourself, or did the former peak master Jiang Qingshui capture it? I smiled slightly. Jiang Qingshui caught it. At this, Dealing became somewhat incredulous. How could someone who regularly consumed the meat of demon kings still be merely in the spirit movement realm? Even an ordinary pig, if fed enough of that, could reach such a level. Watching her suspicious gaze, I chuckled. Doesn't everyone have a few secrets? I know that you have secrets of your own. Upon hearing this, Dealing immediately tensed up. Could it be that he knows I am the Reincarnated Empress? Observing her tense expression, I reached out to pat her head before turning to leave. Before departing, I did not forget to instruct Dealing to clear the table. Dealing gritted her teeth in frustration, taking advantage of me again. Sooner or later, I will sever your hand. Meanwhile, after leaving, I looked toward the direction of the wild, desolate mountain range. Now that she has achieved a breakthrough to the Golden Body Realm, and her physical vessel possesses sufficient strength, it is time to refine a demon sovereign pill for her. This will help her awaken the ancient Ice Phoenix bloodline. I moved with ease and familiarity deep into the mountain range, but halfway there, a voice suddenly erupted. Damn you, human. How dare you come here to capture my subordinates? I will fight you to the death. The Azure Pung Demon Sovereign roared in anger. I gave a wry smile. I have only come today to borrow 2 drops of your Demon Sovereign Essence blood. The Azure Pung Demon Sovereign cursed, if you will not lend it, then I have no choice but to take it by force. As the words left my lips, an earth-shattering dragon might erupted from my entire body. Sensing this dragon might, the Azure Peng was struck with terror. What cultivation technique are you performing? This feels exactly like the dragon might of the golden dragon I once encountered. However, I did not answer. With a single palm strike, he sent his opponent flying. The Green Rock Demon Emperor was battered into begging for mercy, ultimately surrendering his essence blood in total submission. Naturally, the other demon emperors could not escape the same fate, and instantly the Savage Beast Mountain Range became a scene of intense chaos. It was not until 2 days later that I returned to Tangjian Peak. Miaoling was practicing her swordsmanship when she saw me return, her expression tinged with dissatisfaction. Where have you been these past 2 days? Although she knew I was far from ordinary, my cultivation realm was still merely at the spirit movement stage, which left her heart filled with worry. Seeing in Miaoling's feigned ferocity, I could not help but reach out to stroke her head. Have you not already achieved a breakthrough in your golden body realm? So I thought I would refine a medicinal pill to help you awaken your bloodline. Is that not right? And Miaoling asked with some suspicion, is that something you can simply conjure? I shall begin the refinement immediately. After making all necessary preparations, I took out a manual on pill refinement to review. One must always keep their knowledge sharp. And Miaoling began to harbor doubts. Do you truly know how to refine pills? In her past life, she had studied alchemy and could refine most standard medicinal pills with ease. I offered a wry smile. As this is my first time refining, I must consolidate my understanding. As soon as the words left my lips, I flicked my sleeve. Several drops of essence blood materialized, and then, beneath Miaoling's astonished gaze, I added a 5,000-year-old snow ginseng, a 5,000-year-old earth heart lotus, and various other precious spirit herbs. Even as an empress in her past life, she had never possessed medicinal materials of such age. Watching me refine, she felt her Tao heart wavering. The pill furnace began to tremble as the phantoms of various demon emperors manifested. Their immense pressure forced Miaoling to retreat several steps. Her eyes widened in disbelief. She seemed to have discovered something unfathomable. The Green Rock Demon Emperor, the Scaled Dragon Emperor and the Ape Demon Emperor. These beings were comparable to Sect Master Mo Wentian of the Eastern Continent. Her mind was flooded with questions. How could someone in the spirit movement stage possibly obtain such ingredients? She longed to ask immediately, but she knew this was a critical moment and that she could not disturb my refinement. As I channeled my spiritual energy, after an hour, a tricolored medicinal pill rose into the air, and Mioling was left utterly astounded. This is a heaven-grade superior spirit deben pill. Its primary function is to enhance one's innate talent and cultivation realm. And Mioling accepted the medicinal pill from my hand with a complex expression. Where did you obtain the essence blood of a demon emperor? While spirit herbs could be attributed to the sect's resources, she could not believe that the sect was capable of obtaining such precious demon emperor essence blood. I have a decent relationship with a few demon emperors, so I simply asked them for it. I replied casually, effectively deceiving a child. And Miaoling was left speechless. She knew full well the temperament of demon emperors, and she grit her teeth. She realized that whether or not she understood the truth, she would eventually have to endure the consequences. With this thought, and Miaoling swallowed the spirit demon pill and began to circulate her internal energy to refine it. Because she possessed the ancient Ice Phoenix bloodline, the surrounding temperature gradually plummeted as the awakening process began. Seeing this, I reached out my hand, channeling my own spirit energy into her body to help accelerate the efficacy of the pill. Just like that, 10 minutes passed, and Miaoling's expression suddenly became strange. Her skin began to flush and her gaze grew hazy. What is happening? And Miaoling felt as if her entire body was burning, finding it increasingly difficult to control herself. It was then she remembered that the Demon Emperor pill contained the essence blood of a flood dragon, a creature known for its lecherous nature. Upon encountering the Ice Phoenix bloodline, it triggered an inherent reaction that she had not anticipated in time. Her reason was finally swallowed by the fire. She suddenly embraced me, catching me completely off guard. My instinct was to push and Miaoling away, but since I was in the middle of helping her awaken her bloodline, stopping now would result in total failure. Silence, scene, transition. I grit my teeth and sighed. Very well. I suppose your master will have to suffer a little loss for your sake. Half an incense stick later, a crisp phoenix cry echoed through the air as the phantom of an ancient ice phoenix manifested above her. Congratulations to the host. Your disciple has awakened the Emperor-grade ancient ice phoenix bloodline. As a reward for such exceptional talent, the host's own aptitude has been elevated to the 6th grade. Attendance rewards have been increased by 10%. Upon hearing this, I was overjoyed. Could there be such a stroke of good fortune? Perhaps I should consider taking on a few more disciples? At this moment, having successfully awakened her bloodline, and Miaoling entered a profound state as her cultivation realm began to soar. Gold Body Realm, 2nd layer. Nirvana Realm, 1st layer. Congratulations to the host. Your disciple has broken through a major realm. The host's aptitude has been elevated to the 7th grade, and attendance. While I was observing the system interface, and Dealing slowly opened her eyes after completing her breakthrough, and upon discovering that she was still clinging to me, she let out a shriek and retreated in haste. It was then that she remembered what had just transpired and her small face flushed crimson. In her past life, she was an empress, pure and untainted, having never engaged in such intimate contact with a man. Seeing this, I gave 2 coughs to clear my throat. You were the one who initiated this, remember? Your master remained composed and unshaken. From now on, you must be mindful of the boundaries between master and disciple. Witnessing my shameless display, and Dealing let out a cold huff and turned to leave. There was no joy in her expression regarding the breakthrough. She had hardly stepped outside before running into Mo Wentian. Having sensed the anomaly of the Ice Phoenix, he had rushed over immediately. Have you awakened the ancient Ice Phoenix bloodline? Mo Wentian asked, visibly stirred. Seeing Undealing nod, the joy upon Mo Wentian's face could no longer be contained. Splendid, this is the aptitude of a Saint Realm expert. Our Kunlun shall soon welcome a 2nd Saint Realm practitioner. At this moment, the elders of the other peaks arrived one after another. Heaven favors our Kunlun. Before long, Kunlun will once again reign supreme over the eastern province. Hearing this, I was somewhat speechless. It was merely the awakening of a bloodline. Why are you all so worked up? Hearing this, Mo Wentian glared at me. You brat, what do you know? One who carries the ancient Ice Phoenix bloodline, as long as they do not perish prematurely, reaching the Saint Realm is merely a matter of time. I have no patience to argue with a mere spirit movement realm cultivator such as yourself. Seizing the opportunity, Lei Ba, the Peak Master of the Thunder Peak, spoke up. I believe it is no longer appropriate for Dealing to remain at Sword Concealment Peak. We cannot allow Qintian to hinder her progress. No sooner had these words fallen than the other Peak Masters began to nod in agreement. But upon hearing this, Dealing's expression turned instantly icy. Master, I am doing very well, and it is precisely thanks to my master that I awakened so quickly. Thanks to him? Lei Ba sneered. What could a mere spirit movement realm cultivator like him possibly do to assist you? Unexpectedly, the moment he finished his sentence, Dealing drew her long sword and pointed it directly at him. Utter one more word and see what happens. Tongjian Peak does not welcome you. Lei Ba's expression darkened instantly. Yet he could do nothing to Miaoling and was forced to look helplessly toward Mo Wentian. Mo Wentian also felt a mounting headache. How had she become so utterly captivated by Qintian? Is physical beauty truly that significant? At that very moment, a shout rang out. A massive horde of demonic beasts is advancing toward Kunlun. Upon hearing this, Mo Wentian's expression shifted. Surely the recent heaven and earth phenomenon had drawn the attention of the demon race. To demonic beasts, an ancient bloodline is nothing less than a supreme treasure. Scarcely had they reached the sect gates when a white tiger, standing 2 zhang tall, surged toward them. The white tiger demon emperor has arrived at the Kunlun sword sect. What is your business here? The white tiger demon emperor sneered. If you are sensible, hand over the person who awakened that bloodline. Otherwise, do not blame me for washing your Kunlun sword sect in blood, based solely on you. Moentian replied with disdain. The white tiger demon emperor was at the second level of the semi-saint realm, the same cultivation as him, so he felt no fear. Alone, I might indeed be insufficient, but what if I am joined by the Azure Peng demon emperor? He will arrive in 5 minutes. You have 5 minutes to consider your choice. Hearing that another demon emperor was approaching, Moentian's expression turned grave. Xintian, take Miaoling and go into hiding first. As he spoke, Moentian turned his head to look for me, only to discover that the person who had been standing by and watching had already vanished. At the same moment, 10 miles away from the sect, the Azure Peng demon emperor was leading his 4 great demon kings as they charged toward the Kunlun sword sect, but he suddenly halted because a young man was blocking his path ahead. What is the reason for such haste? The Azure Peng demon emperor looked at me with great vigilance. I have urgent matters to attend to, we shall meet another time. Having said that, he attempted to bypass me. I watched him, offered a faint smile, and stepped once more to obstruct his path. This road is closed. Turn back. Are you perhaps a member of the Kunlun sect? The Azure Rock demon emperor paused in bewilderment. Congratulations. Having answered correctly, he looked at my harmless smile, shivered instinctively, and then led the 4 great demon kings to turn and flee. Wait a moment. The Azure Rock demon emperor trembled, watching me with high alert. Rest assured, I do not require your essence blood for the time being. It is simply that I share a fated connection with this Skyox King, so from this day forth it shall follow me. As I spoke, I waved my hand, seizing the Skyox King directly. The Azure Rock's face cycled through shades of red and white, but in the end he had no choice but to swallow his anger. Let us return. Having said that, he led the remaining 3 demon kings away in a frantic sprint. I brought the Skyox King back to Sword Hidden Peak, muttering to myself along the way that it had been a long time since I last tasted beef. Meanwhile, at the sect entrance, the 2 sides had been locked in a stalemate for half an incense stick of time. The White Fox Demon Emperor finally realized she had been stood up and threatened, "Just you wait, I will return." After uttering those words, she led her followers away, leaving everyone behind filled with confusion. As soon as Miaoling returned to Sword Hidden Peak, she caught the scent of a fragrant meal. "Master, what delicacy are you preparing today?" I smiled faintly. "Today I am making braised beef." "Beef? There are no ox demons in the demon-suppressing pagoda. Eat well and drink your fill." I was just about to go rest when I was pulled back by Miaoling. "From now on, you must cultivate with me. As a master, you must set an example. I do not wish to hear Leiba and the others speak of you in such a manner anymore." Though she spoke that way, in reality she wanted to take advantage of our cultivation session to uncover my true strength. I was slightly taken aback. "Cultivation? Even without practicing, your master is formidable." "Just how formidable?" I offered a mischievous smile. "Within the sect, surely no one is a match for me." A month passed in the blink of an eye. During these days, Miaoling devoted her heart to cultivating the great Tao of Ruthlessness, and her temperament became increasingly cold and indifferent. This piqued my curiosity, so today, while she was practicing, I asked, "What cultivation technique are you training in?" And Miaoling slowly opened her eyes. "The Supreme Heartless Manual. This is an imperial-grade technique. If Master requires it, I can pass it on to you. However, read it aloud for me." And Dio Lin nodded. By gathering the 5 elements and mastering their mutual growth and restraint, one can achieve heaven's decree and sever all emotions. After hearing only a few lines, I waved my hand to interrupt her. What kind of wretched cultivation manual is this, and to speak of forgetting emotions no less? To truly sever the 7 emotions and 6 desires, and to become a hollow vessel without feeling, then what meaning does the Tao have left? What meaning does life hold at all? My 2 rhetorical questions left Andio Lin visibly stunned. In recent days, the care and affection shown through the selfless gift of Supreme Emperor-grade weapons and Demon Emperor elixirs had been steadily challenging her Tao heart. While she remained in a daze, I spoke again. "Do you not enjoy practicing the sword? I possess a sword manual here that is undoubtedly superior to your Supreme Emotion-severing record." And Ling took it and began to read. To her shock, she was instantly captivated, her hands gradually beginning to tremble. This was a cultivation technique capable of transcending the Emperor realm. Breaking through the Emperor realm was a feat she had dreamed of in her past life, but could never achieve. It was a tragedy that she had never even glimpsed the threshold before her death. As this realization dawned upon her, she turned her gaze toward me. Her eyes grew gentle. From now on, she would no longer need to worry about the internal conflicts of her Tao heart. Seeing this, I reached out to pat Ondiolin's head, preparing to impart the insights I had gained over the past few days. "Let me teach you the way of the sword." Seeing her nod earnestly, I smiled slightly and said, "Sword forms are easy to master, but sword intent is difficult to cultivate. Sword forms are merely external, mimicking the natural patterns of heaven and earth to manifest through the blade." Just as I was imparting these teachings, Yan Qingti, the direct disciple of Mo Wantian, arrived. She had been tasked with delivering cultivation resources to Andio Ling. However, Yan Qingti had taken the task upon herself, as she had not seen her handsome junior martial uncle for a long time. Upon reaching Kangjian Peak and seeing me teaching the sword, she did not dare to disturb us, instead standing to the side to listen curiously. At first, she remained skeptical, but as she listened, her astonishment grew and her bottleneck suddenly loosened. And Dio Lin also gained insight, and the seed of sword intent began to sprout within her. Seeing Dio Ling enter a state of enlightenment, I nodded in satisfaction, then looked toward Yan Qingti and asked, "Is there something you need?" Yan Qingti finally snapped back to reality. She said joyfully, "Junior Martial Uncle's guidance was like a divine awakening. I am beginning to like you more and more. No, I am beginning to worship you, Junior Martial Uncle. My master sent me to deliver these medicinal pills to my junior sister." Having said that, she retrieved 10 bottles of medicinal pills from her storage ring and handed them to An Dialing. After delivering the pills, she bid me a reluctant farewell, not forgetting to cast a lingering amorous glance before departing. Because this particular cultivation session had given An Dialing a taste of its sweetness. In the days that followed, she remained constantly by my side. In the blink of an eye, 10 years had passed. Regarding the daily sign-in, I had accumulated 6 years' worth of rewards. The sign-in reward, the Huazizai Great Technique, was upgraded to the 11th level. My cultivation base reached the 3rd level of the Semi-Saint realm, and the sign-in reward, the time-space token, could now be utilized by my disciples. When faced with a crisis, they could summon my spiritual projection through the token to provide assistance. The sign-in reward, the 1st level of the Eternal Indestructible Body, was granted. As the system's voice faded, I immediately felt a surge of immense energy pouring into my body. I chuckled softly. It seemed that after the next sign-in, I would be able to break through to the Saint realm. In high spirits, I immediately entered the demon-suppressing tower to gather ingredients for a meal. "Dialing, your master has prepared a delicious feast. Come quickly." As I spoke, I pushed open the door to Dialing's room, but in the next heartbeat I was stunned. She was bathing, and in an instant a wave of heat rushed to my nose. "Your master did not intentionally call you to eat. Hurry and put on your clothes." And Dialing let out a cold hum, flicked her hand, and slammed the door shut. I sighed. Where has the trust between people gone? After closing the door, Dialing took out the red garment I had gifted her not long ago. She tried it on, though her arms and legs remained exposed. Stop, she thought. I know master is a lecherous man. I cannot let him take advantage of. She looked around, then took a large silk cloth to drape over herself. If not for the fact that the last meal you cooked was a month ago, she would never have allowed you to witness such a scene. After Dialing ate a few bites, she lifted the wine cup and drained it in one gulp. Seeing this, I laughed softly. Drinking wine like that has no soul. One must savor it slowly. Savor it? Do you not want me? Dialing intentionally let the cloth covering her shoulders slip slightly, and I immediately fixed my gaze upon her. My disciple is right. This wine should be enjoyed, cup by cup. Dialing then returned to her usual cold and detached demeanor. You may savor it yourself. The neighbor has a daughter who has finally blossomed. This little girl is becoming more and more enchanting with each passing day. The next morning, an old man and a youth arrived at the sect, shouting loudly. Great Elder Leng Ya of Penglai led his disciples to pay a visit to the sect. Deep within the sect, Mo Wantian furrowed his brows upon hearing this. A visit at such a time surely carried ill intentions. Thinking this, his figure flickered, and he appeared before them in an instant. I wonder what brings Brother Leng here this time. I heard that Kunlun possesses a prodigy who has awakened an ancient bloodline, so I brought my disciple to witness it for himself. At this moment, the young man beside Leng Ya stepped forward. He was Bai Xiaohua, the head disciple of Penglai. I pay my respects to Sect Master Mo. Some of the surrounding disciples whispered. So this was the head disciple of the Penglai sect, one of the 3 great righteous sects. Not only that, he is also the leader of the 3 great disciples. Even Mo Wantian nodded in praise, acknowledging that he was truly a rare talent. However, the girl and Miaoling is currently in seclusion. Upon hearing this, the expressions of Leng Ya and Bai Xiaohua soured. They had intended to meet her to propose a marriage alliance, yet they could not even see her. Sect Master Mo, I, the junior Bai Xiaohua, am young and ignorant. Would it be convenient to allow me to spar with your disciples? As the words fell, the surrounding crowd instantly broke into an uproar. Is this guy here to cause trouble? Indeed, we are in trouble this time. It seems none of our younger generation is stronger than him. Mo Wantian's expression remained unchanged, but he was cursing inwardly. It was clear that they were here to bully his sect, but under the gaze of everyone present, he could not refuse. A friendly exchange between the younger generation would be acceptable. After speaking, he immediately sent a voice transmission to Yan Qingti. Yan Qingti had recently attained a breakthrough in her cultivation. Perhaps she might have a chance to defeat Bai Xiaohua. Meanwhile, I at Kangjian Peak seemed to sense something, and could not help but look toward the sect entrance. What is it, master? And Miaoling asked, somewhat puzzled. A semi-saint expert has led people into our sect. It seems they have come to stir up trouble. And Miaoling gave a soft grunt of indifference. At the same time, the group had moved into the main hall. Bai Xiaohua stepped into the center of the hall, cupping his hands toward the gathered disciples. If you win, I shall bestow upon you a top-tier earth-grade medicinal pill. Hearing this, many revealed expressions of greed, yet in the end, no one dared to step forward. Bai Xiaohua looked around. What is this? Is there no one in the Kunlun sword sect who dares to challenge me? Upon hearing these words, all the Kunlun disciples were incensed. A sturdy young man immediately stepped onto the stage. Xianlei, the head disciple of Yulei Peak, requests your instruction. Seeing the challenger, the disciples were astonished. Senior brother Xianlei has come forth. It is said that the Peak Master has personally passed the Heaven Thunder technique to him. The Heaven Thunder technique will surely defeat Bai Xiaohua. Unexpectedly, a moment later, amidst the murmurs of the crowd, Xian Lei was repelled by a single move, instantly coughing up a mouthful of fresh blood. Seeing this, Lei Ba hurriedly took out a medicinal pill and forced it into his mouth. He prepared to reprimand Bai Xiaohua, but was cut off by the opponent. "Forgive me, Senior Lei, I truly did not expect him to be unable to withstand even a single strike." Just as the atmosphere grew tense, Yan Qingti slowly stepped forward. She observed Bai Xiaohua with a solemn gaze. As both were sword cultivators, she was exceptionally sensitive to sword intent. At this moment, she sensed a profound danger emanating from Bai Xiaohua. "Master, to be certain, please summon junior sister Anne." Yan Qingti sent a sound transmission to Mo Wantian. Mo Wantian was somewhat confused. "Why summon her? She is much younger than all of you." Yan Qingti shook her head. "Master, you do not understand. 10 years ago, when I delivered medicinal pills to Kangjian Peak on your behalf, I witnessed our little martial uncle teaching junior sister Anne the way of the sword. At that time, I sensed the sword intent within junior sister Anne, and from that experience I gained new insights that allowed me to touch the threshold of sword intent." Hearing this, Mo Wantian was shocked. Qin Tian taught the way of the sword, and Yao actually comprehended sword intent? Are you certain? Yan Qingti nodded solemnly. "So that is why I found this young man so peculiar. He was merely putting on a facade." After finishing her transmission to me, Yan Qingti stepped forward to prepare for her duel with Bai Xiaohua. Bai Xiaohua spoke with a hint of disdain. "So you are the head senior sister of Kunlun. Since you have stepped up, why don't we raise the stakes? The Sizhao secret realm is about to open, and the 3 sects, each sect is allotted 3 quotas. Let us stake one as a wager. If you members of the Kunlun sect can defeat me, I shall surrender the quota to you." Bai Xiaohua's words confirmed Mo Wentian's suspicions. They had indeed come specifically for the quotas to enter the secret realm. After receiving Mo Wentian's consent, Yan Qingti nodded. "I accept." Just as the two were preparing to clash, I arrived with Dealing. Upon seeing their junior martial uncle, Yan Qin immediately wore an infatuated expression. The other female disciples also found themselves unable to look away. As for Bai Xiaohua, he was completely captivated by Dealing's beauty. He secretly resolved to confess his feelings to Dealing once he emerged victorious. Seeing the greedy look in Bai Xiaohua's eyes, I felt a flicker of annoyance. "Why are you standing there like a fool? If you want to spar, then be quick about it." Bai Xiaohua frowned, then proceeded to scan me from head to toe. Merely at the spirit movement stage, to think such trash dares to instruct me. He suppressed his anger and asked, "Who are you?" "So rude, you are the one being rude." And Deoling and Yan Qingti spoke in unison. "This is my master, this is my junior martial uncle," both women declared as they stepped forward to defend me. Bai Xiaohua was stunned, then recalled the rumors circulating beforehand. It was said that Kunlun possessed a talentless junior martial uncle. It appeared to be the man standing before him. The 2 women are protecting this useless junior uncle. They must be bewitched by his appearance. I must rescue them and show them that in the path of cultivation, strength is the only truth. With this thought in mind, he challenged Yan Qingti once more. Yan Qingti likewise wished to display her prowess before her junior martial uncle. As the duel commenced, sword light flashed continuously across the courtyard, with both sides momentarily locked in a stalemate. Bai Xiaohua realized that if he continued to hide his true skills, he would lose the match. "You are quite capable. You are worthy of me using my true strength." As his words faded, the sharp ring of a sword echoed throughout the arena. Bai Xiaohua unleashed his sword intent directly. Yan Qingti's sword momentum shattered, and the entire courtyard fell into a deathly silence. Nearly every Kunlun disciple present wore an expression of deep disappointment. Yan Qingti retreated more than 10 steps, blood spilling from the corner of her mouth. Seeing this, Mo Wantian felt a pang of heartache and advised Qingti concede. But she shook her head. "Disciple wishes to try again." Yan Qingti's stubbornness left Mo Wantian stunned, until finally he followed her gaze toward me. "Truly a man who brings disaster and calamity upon others." Bai Xiaohua sneered. "You possess quite the backbone. Do not blame me for showing no mercy." No sooner had he finished speaking than another sword intent struck out. Yan Qingti was sent flying, a deep sword gash left upon her arm. I could no longer bear to watch. My figure flickered as I caught Yan Qingti. "How handsome! If I were the one injured, would the martial uncle hold me too?" A female disciple nearby spoke with envy. Yan Qingti within my embrace began to blush. "You brat, how long do you intend to keep holding her?" Mo Wantian's voice was filled with displeasure. Hearing this, Yan Qingti hurriedly scrambled out of my arms. I turned my gaze toward Miaoling, who stood beside me. "Go, once he is dealt with, I still have to return to feed the fish." And Miaoling nodded. Beneath the astonished gazes of the crowd, she stepped forward. In their minds, although Miaoling was a peerless genius, she had only entered the sect for 10 years and was 7 years younger than them, so they did not think much of her. She paid no heed to their looks, and a sword materialized, flying straight toward Bai Xiaohua. Under Miaoling's control, the Bingley sword struck like a phantom, relentlessly raining blows upon Bai Xiaohua. In the span of a single breath, 3 sword wounds appeared on Bai Xiaohua's body. He collapsed weakly to the ground, trembling as he raised his head. As those words died away, everyone present turned their eyes toward Miaoling. Yet, ignoring them entirely, she followed me as I departed the main hall. Leng Yao watched Miaoling's retreating back, a faint, sinister smile playing on his lips before he drew a token and tossed it to Mo Wantian. "This quota belongs," and Dealing let out a sinister laugh, asking, "How does it feel to embrace senior sister Yan?" It does not compare to your own touch. Upon hearing my reply, and Dealing was stunned. Before she could respond, Mo Wantian appeared before us in a flash and produced a jade token. 3 days from now, the Xiaoyao secret realm will open. It contains countless opportunities, though it is restricted to those below the Nirvana realm. I hope you will make the journey when the time comes. Hearing this, I nodded in agreement. Having remained within the sect for many years, I figured a journey outside would be a welcome change of pace. Once he finished speaking, I handed the spacetime token to Dealing. Should you encounter danger, activate this immediately. Unaware of the true power of the artifact, Dealing carefully tucked it away against her chest. 3 days later, Dealing arrived at the sect's main hall. At that moment, Yan Qingshan and Lei were already present in the hall. They were accompanied by one other disciple. Sulan led the group toward the Xiaoyao secret realm. I remained alone at Kangjian Peak, preparing to descend the mountain to visit my family. In the 20-some years I have spent in the sect, I have returned home every 2 or 3 years. My parents are cultivators themselves, though their cultivation base is not particularly high. However, upon arriving at the courtyard, I discovered that a formation had been set up. Filled with suspicion, I dismantled the barrier and stepped inside, only to find a letter left in the study. Your father and I have gone on a journey, do not worry. Furthermore, there is a small figure here that looks exactly like your father. I immediately fell into deep contemplation. Such a formation could seemingly only be cast by one in the Saint Realm. Why would it appear at my home? It seems I must wait until I see my parents again to ask them. With that thought in mind, I departed from the courtyard. I prepared to take a stroll through the city. At this moment, the city was hosting a martial examination. Cultivators can not only join sects, but can also serve the imperial government or the royal family. The surroundings were filled with spectators, ranging from commoners who practiced cultivation to nobles seated in the viewing galleries. What caught my attention, however, was a young woman with a veil covering her face. This woman was at the Nirvana realm. Her temperament was truly exceptional. She was a beauty rarely seen. I pondered for a brief moment. Then, I retrieved a set of table and chairs from my storage ring and sat down. It is rare to have the leisure to watch such a spectacle. Watching for a while was harmless enough, but before long I found myself surrounded by several young women. Who is that person? He is so handsome. Indeed, even Ming Yilian, the woman seated in the center of the gallery, could not help but glance at me several times. She had seen many handsome men in her time, but one of this caliber was a first. I paid them no mind, calmly brewing a cup of tea, and the fragrance immediately filled the air. Those knowledgeable about tea were astonished. This is enlightenment tea. One must understand that enlightenment tea is as valuable as a peak-grade spirit herb. This youth is no ordinary person. Just as everyone was lamenting this fact, a group of figures in black robes suddenly charged toward the viewing gallery. Those black-robed figures were members of the demon sect. Seeing this, the onlookers immediately fled in panic. They dared not provoke the demon sect. In the open space, I remained the only one sitting alone. The leader was an elder at the second level of the creation realm, while on Ming Yilian's side, the strongest person was merely a guard captain at the third level of the Nirvana realm. Ming Yilian watched as her guards fell one after another, and she could not help but feel anxious. She possessed the bloodline of the Azure Phoenix, and the consequences of her capture could be easily imagined. Just as Min Wai Lian fell into despair, she suddenly caught sight of me nearby, and instinctively she rushed in my direction, desperate to grasp at this final straw of hope. At that same moment, the demon sect disciples pursued her, and she cried out, "Young master, I am Min Lin, princess of the Yong Kingdom. I implore you to assist me. You shall be handsomely rewarded." I heard her plea but merely offered a faint smile, turning my gaze toward the demon sect disciples behind her. "You have quite the audacity, boy," I muttered, flicking my hand. The disciple who had spoken was instantly reduced to a mist of blood. Upon witnessing this, a look of joy surfaced on Min Wei Lian's face. The demon sect elder's expression turned grave as he remarked, "To the eye, you appear to be in the Lingdong realm, yet with a single strike you have defeated a disciple of the Nirvana realm." The voice of the demon sect elder echoed from afar. I chuckled softly and replied, "And what if I refuse to yield?" The demon sect elder's complexion shifted instantly. "If you refuse, then you shall die." Scarcely had the words left his lips when he transformed into a streak of black mist, lunging toward me. Yet in the next heartbeat, I sent him flying into the air with a single palm strike. Before he could even react, a golden fist surged from below, shattering him into fragments. Everyone present stared at me in absolute astonishment. To possess such terrifying strength at such a young age, he must be an ancient senior who has mastered a technique to preserve his youth. With the demon sect elder dead, the demonic horde was left without a leader, and the remaining stragglers scattered in panic. Seeing that the danger had been averted, Minnie Lian hurriedly cupped her hands in gratitude. "Thank you, young master, for saving my life. I invite you to return to the imperial palace with me. My father will surely reward you generously." Yet before she could finish, my silhouette had already vanished, leaving behind only a message transmitted via spiritual sense. I had no time. For just a moment ago, I had suddenly received a system mission to rescue the Qinkyu Empress. The Empress is currently being hunted down at the Mountain of Two Worlds. The mission will be considered complete only once I establish a master-servant contract with her. One must understand that the system rarely issues missions.